this story happened to me like a month ago. Usually what I do in the morning is I start work at 1, so I have time to wake up and get my coffee, sit out on the porch, right? I did that, and I'm sitting out, I'm just looking over, and I hear the conversation across the street. Only in Brooklyn could this conversation be happening, okay? This is the conversation, all right? Dude, you can't kill him, bro. Dude, you kill him, you either have 25 to life, you get shot in the face. It's 11 a.m., okay? my brain's just waking up. The weirdest part about this story was he was eating a bag of chips while he was saying this. I know I'm telling you not to kill anybody, but I missed breakfast, so you gotta deal with it. That's what's up, man.
Like, Baal Tshuva is people who, a lot of this community has a real problem with marrying into it, and they want to specifically, that's just one example, where it's like, that doesn't really matter, who cares about that? That's not Judaism, that's nothing to do with Judaism.
So that's the culture.
I think there's a lot of culture involved here.
And what would Judaism be?
I think Judaism, that's a great question. I don't know if I've totally explored that, but I think it has a lot more to do with what actually is you're supposed to do as a Jewish person.
Let's run that down.
Okay.
You're supposed to do? What does that mean?
That's a great question. It's something you're supposed to do, meaning, well, again, it really depends on how do you look at religion. Do you look at religion as something that you have to do, or is it something that could help you in life? I like to look at religion to me is something that I think is important, because I think it's important for my health-wise, and I think, in order to have a religious life makes me a better person or a happier person. But a lot of people look at religion as something you're supposed to do, It's you have to do that, and that's fine, that's just the way it is.
It's a terrible shame that we use words and don't bother to
do the research.
Yeah, what exactly are we saying?
That's a great question. That's why we're here.
Yeah, I know, and it bothers me also. You get into this vocabulary, and I think everybody does that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I go to a doctor with my kid, and the doctor checks the kid and says, he has otitis media. I said, can you please speak English? Who are you talking to? You got your special language that you talk among yourselves, but speak English, right? He says, your kid's ear hurts. I said,
I can relate to that.
That's what it means. Yeah. I knew that before I came.
Okay.
But, you put that fancy word on it, and it sounds, really sophisticated, and you're a chacham, and that's,
Yeah.
So these words that we use, without bothering to pin it down to what exactly are you saying? There are certain things you're supposed to do. Supposed to? How did that happen? Where did that come from? What do you mean I'm supposed to? I have to? I don't have to. Here, look at this, I'm not doing it. I don't have to. Yeah, but you should. What does that mean even? But, we use words like that. You got to do this, you got to be that. What do you mean I got to? I don't got to. And that's why you don't necessarily have to get angry to walk away. Because what are you walking away from? You can't even pin it down like what. Something about what you're saying doesn't ring. So I'm just going to go do something else. And what's the difference?
Right.
Yeah. Here's the bottom line. Did somebody create the world?
I believe that.
Okay. Whoever created the world had some purpose, meaning, intention, drive that made him create the world. I hope so. Hope he wasn't just I hope he wasn't just fiddling in his lab and this thing blew up on him.
Oh, cool! This is nice. Right. Well, it's if I can interject for a second, it's really interesting you say that because I kind of when I was going through first being not religious, I was going through thinking about God, and that's another question. You're like, what is God? And we can go through that, etc. That's a good question. I started to explore that, but the basic idea of what I thought God was, and I'm like, does he really exist or not? And I decided for a short period of time that he probably doesn't exist, and I felt like that was the loneliest time of my life. And so I decided, just for health reasons, let's believe that there is a God, right? And then it took me a while to figure out, okay, why does that help me if I know there's a God if he doesn't do anything? So maybe there's something to do, and I feel like that's kind of where I'm at right now, where I'm kind of in that space where I'm trying to figure out, what does he want from us? What does he want to do?
That is, I can't tell you that you're way ahead of the game.
Oh, you think so?
The sad thing is, this should have happened when you were 13.
I agree.
And the yeshiva should have told you that.
We can get into yeshiva.
Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, I don't know.
It's a new podcast.
Yeah, let's not go. Let's not go there.
Okay.
Because the yeshiva's listening.
We'll edit this out. That's cool.
But at the age of 13, ideally, at the age of 13, before your bar mitzvah, around your bar mitzvah, the yeshiva, the teacher, the whatever, the mashpia, should sit down with you and say, "You really believe in God? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've been telling you, we've been talking at you, but really, you believe in God? Why did they do that?
That's a great question. Why don't they?
Why don't,
well, because I think...
Because they're afraid you might say no?
Right, that's what I think it is. I think, the whole yeshiva seems to... Maybe the culture is built around, don't leave. That's all. Just
and don't ask.
And don't ask, right.
Why are we afraid? It's so silly.
Yeah.
We've been studying this thing for 4,000 years, and you're afraid of a question? What?
Yeah.
Have you gotten nowhere? We have a class, we have a course for women in Judaism. And there was one class, and this woman is sitting there, and she has that look on her face, and something's... So I said to her, you want
it could just be the Jewish woman face. That's how
No. It was like, I said, do you want to say something? She said, no. I don't want to ruin anything. I said, what do you mean? She says, everybody in the room, they seem, they believe, and they got their thing, I don't want to mess it up for everybody. I said, wait a minute. You have a question that's going to mess it up for everybody? I'm fascinated. What is your question? She said, no, you shouldn't. No, don't, If anything, finally said, okay, you asked for it. I'm really getting curious. Like, she says, who created God? I said, that's it. Judaism is over.
Class dismissed.
This is cancel.
You warned me.
4,000 years down the drain. It's all over. I said, no, really. You think nobody asked that question before? You think we overlooked that little detail there?
Yeah.
4,000 years of wisdom, and come on. So what are you afraid of? Why would a teacher who's teaching Judaism be afraid of a 13-year-old's question? If you're so insecure about this,
you got some issues.
Yeah. And then the kid feels that and says, look, if you're not even sure, what do you want from me?
Yeah. But,
So now that you're asking that question, that's what you should be doing. Let's put it in more personal terms. Talk about God, the creator, and he said, and he went, and he split the sea, and he made this guy, and he killed this guy, and he smoked, and he smites, and he whatever. What's it got to do with me? This God that we're talking about, is he your God?
Well, what is God?
Yeah.
That's a great question.
Yeah. And it's not a heretical question. No, not because you asked it. On the contrary. If I told you have an uncle that you never met, and you say, well, yeah. Or you say, really? What's his name? But that's heretical? That's disrespect. That's disrespectful? So now you're getting to where you need to be. You're saying, if God is going to be meaningful in any way, he's got to be my God. A God in heaven? Who cares? So it's a very good thing. You have to make it personal. It has to start putting together the puzzle. So, if there's a creator, he created the world with a purpose. This purpose must be important enough to create a whole universe with all the heaviness and sadness and pain and pleasure and agony and ecstasy. All of this is worth some end goal, some purpose. I'd like to know what that is. And if I'm part of that purpose, I need to know what that is. So if you created me to do something and I can't figure out what that is, that's frustrating.